I do believe that we are not meant to be one thing, and we're not meant to be defined by work, and we're not meant to limit ourselves in this life.
Hello, kitty cat.
Time. I feel like it's like 2012. Put a novel out and super bad. Hello my dears, happy new year and welcome back to a brand new vlog. Feeling super funky fresh because I just put these fun like shiny nails on. Love it. With everything that has gone on recently with the presidential inauguration and the TikTok ban and then TikTok coming back and all of that sort of thing, I've been thinking a lot about my like social media presence and what I want to do with it. And not much is going to change here on YouTube. I'm going to keep sharing about my life, but this will be the start of a brand new series of vlogs that I'm going to be putting out called the Multipassionate Diaries. So welcome to episode 1 of the Multipassionate Diaries. I've been super sick for the past week. I'm feeling so much better now, but you can probably still hear it in my voice. So sorry for my nasally sick voice. I'm super ready to jump back into things. I was actually kind of disappointed. Like I was feeling really good and like motivated going into the start of the year. And then I got sick and it took me out for like a week. It was just a cold, but it was like an awful cold. But anyways, Multi-Passionate Diaries. Basically, the idea behind this is I do a lot of different things in my life, but in my mind and for me and in my life, they're all super interrelated and I am never going to give up on them. You know, I'm never going to be put in a box. I'm never going to be put in a mold. I don't want to quit one thing to focus on another. I believe that I can find depth in all sorts of things within my life because I'm passionate about them. It is a really difficult balance. It is not easy to have a 9-to-5 job, run a business as a book editor, to direct a dance company, to also be a poet who's working to try and publish and get my work out there and you know, have time for writing, to be a freelance dancer, to be like applying for opportunities in companies and going to rehearsals for all sorts of different gigs and projects and stuff like that. And then to also, you know, have a good relationship with my husband, have a social life, take care of my kitties, you know, go to the gym, get my workouts in, like do my morning routines and my evening routines and read books. I don't feel like I'm ever going to master it. I don't think it's something that I can master, but that is the reality of my day-to-day life is like every single day looks completely different because I'm finding whatever time I can here and there to pull in the different things that I'm passionate about. I thought it would be really cool because I know a lot of you are like that. Like most people don't just have like one thing that they focus their whole life on. So I just wanted to like share a little bit more about that and like how I balance my days and how I balance my life, because I do believe that we are not meant to be one thing and we're not meant to be defined by work and we're not meant to limit ourselves in this life. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you all so much. I'm hoping to make lots of YouTube videos this year, so I hope you'll follow along. Please subscribe if you're not already and like this video to help me out, get this going, because I really want to share more with you all this year.
Hello, kitty cats. Say hi to YouTube. We got Miss Ember and Mr. Cole, my favorite little kiddos.
The kiddos have taken over my work chair, so it looks like we're not working for now. It is Saturday morning. As someone who does a ton of different things, it's super important for me personally, and I think for anyone who's like that, to have some times when you are actively like off from everything. So it doesn't always happen perfectly, but I try my absolute best to take Saturdays off completely. As a business owner, you know, sometimes I do have to jump on and do a little bit of work for my book editing business. For content creation, you know, I'm still potentially like editing or posting something on a Saturday. To use today as an example, I actually should be able to take most of like the daytime off, but I do have a dance rehearsal for one of the gigs that I'm a part of later this evening. Usually right now I would be getting ready to head out out to a Core Power hot yoga class, but because I'm still like congested, I'm still like coughing occasionally and sniffling a little bit, I'm gonna stay home today because I feel like in the like 100+ degree room it might exacerbate like my nose running or something like that. I'm sure hot yoga would feel amazing for me today, but I don't want to be that guy who is like sniffling and coughing in a workout class because that is the worst. That is so good. So instead, I think the things that I would really like to be doing today, first of all, I want to read. I scarcely ever get like open time to sit down and read a book. The apartment isn't too bad right now, but I definitely do have like a bunch of clothes to clean up. I want to tidy up a little bit, just like vacuum and do the floors. So those are kind of my goals for today before I have to head over to dance rehearsal. But yeah, I just wanted to mention that like I do actually take time off. Like I make a concerted effort to try to have some time off during every single week, because if I didn't, I would get so burnt out so fast. It's actually really difficult to do so because when you do so many different things, or when you have like things of your own, like a business or content creation, it kind of feels like any moment that you're not working on it is like a missed opportunity. I feel that like I put so much pressure on myself. I get a little bit anxious when I rest, but we're working on it. So I just wanted to say that like if you feel that way, I do too, and I think it's so much more important to look out for the sustainability of what you're doing in the long run. And in order for it to be sustainable, you need to make sure that you're allowing yourself to like decompress occasionally, or you are going to burn out and go a little bit crazy. I'll show you the book I'm reading. I'm gonna go grab it. Okay, so I am reading Memory Piece by Lisa Ko. I would say like 2/3 of the way through this book. It is honestly not my favorite. It starts out as kind of like a coming of age of like Asian American women who are like artists and activists in New York City, and it kind of goes through them like character by character. It's very character driven, I would say, and kind of based in like this very specific time in New York City. And then I just started the section where it kind of jumps forward super far in time, and it starts to be like, I would say more, you know, related to the title, like it's a little bit more about like the passing of time and the way that memory carries us throughout our lives and stuff like that. But it's also kind of like a dystopian, like capitalist downfall-y kind of vibe. So like that all sounds great. Like that should be a book that I enjoy, but honestly, I've just been pretty bored while I've been reading this. It's good enough to continue, so I am gonna read it to the end. And this last part is like so different than the first part of the book, so you never know. Maybe the ending will be really good and I will end up recommending it. To try other skin tints or like tinted moisturizers, so I got this one from Ilia, and I'm honestly not a huge fan of the formula. It's really like sticky and like hard to blend in, so I have it, you know, I'm gonna keep using it probably, but it's definitely not my favorite. So I literally went straight back to my tried and true Glossier skin tint, and then on days when I do want like fuller coverage, I use the Glossier foundation as well. It's just the best one for me. It's a really nice formula and it blends in super well, so I'm gonna stick with that. Showing y'all my makeup for YouTube makes me feel like it's like 2012, and that honestly makes my soul so happy. I feel like the world and like social media just used to move a little bit slower, and like everything on YouTube was so much less polished. I feel so much fun to just like watch other girls just like do their little makeup and their little emo hair in front of their mirror, like floor length mirror sitting on the floor of their bedroom. Like, what a throwback. We've come a long way, but we are still her on the inside. All right, y'all, it is time to clean up this house because it is kind of a mess in here. So let's do it. I am gonna start in the living room because in my mind it's the easiest. So I just want to get it out of the way. This is the breakfast that I've been eating a lot recently, which is just toast with a bunch of cottage cheese and some sliced cucumbers with salt and pepper. It is so good and high protein to start my day. Gosh, it was actually so dusty in here. I did not even realize, so I'm so happy that we cleaned this up. The cats actually play on this carpet a lot. They just like carpet, obviously, because it has traction with their claws. So this carpet was so disgusting, and I didn't even realize. And I found a bunch of trash like under the coffee table. My sweet angel of a husband actually did the like kitchen counters and the stovetop like yesterday or the day before. Stovetop cleaning is my least favorite thing to do, and he knows that, so he tackles it whenever he notices that it's kind of dirty, because I actually do cook a lot, so it's like I should get used to cleaning that, but whatever. He did it, so that's amazing. The kitchen really just needs a tidy up, to be honest, and to wipe down the surfaces and do some dishes. And dishes are done. I think the last thing I'm gonna do today is the bedroom, just cleaning up all of our piles of clothes and kind of dusting off the surfaces. This is all clothes that was literally sitting in a pile right next to my side of the bed. That is so embarrassing. I'm just gonna put on a Netflix show or something and like sort through what needs to go in the laundry and fold everything else and put it away. Many hours later, I'm done cleaning and I am starving again, of course. So I just reheated. This was like a sheet pan meal that I did with a bunch of roasted veggies, a vegan Italian sausage, and then I just cooked up some pearl couscous to have with it. Topped it with balsamic and feta. It is so good, so I'm gonna have some of this for lunch. Hello, my dears. It is now the next day. I'm sure you can tell by my appearance. I'm heading to dance rehearsal. Today is Sunday, and on Sundays, I'm always in dance mode because the company that I direct, that I'm the artistic director of, rehearses on Sundays. So it's basically a work day for me. Like I work on admin work for the company pretty much all morning, or like planning, choreographing, all of that sort of thing. We just hired 2 new company members. The season is starting today, so I have basically just been working all morning. Other than I also edited and posted a TikTok video on my TikTok, and then I just got straight into work for the dance company. Now it is almost time to head out pretty soon here. I realized I definitely need to eat a little bit more before I go to rehearsal. So I've been trying to get a little bit more protein because I'm vegetarian, so I don't always get the right amount of protein. But I have this Icelandic yogurt, which has 16 grams, and then I've been getting this protein granola. See, this is one of the things that I like sacrifice because other people, you know, you have like 2 days off over the weekend. One of them you kind of like do social things or like have fun, and then the other one you like clean your house and do your laundry and get ready for work the next day. That is something that I don't have. Like I usually only have one day off, if that. But the thing is, like, directing the company brings me so much fulfillment. Being organizations and having that like artistic vision, having a platform to choreograph, like those are all things that I feel like bring me a lot of contentedness in my life. Do I want my Sunday off to sit on the couch, or do I want to do something that's going to like bring some meaning and purpose into my life? I will say though, like running a arts organization is stressful. Like it's a lot of work. And it's a lot of work to make sure we have like the money to keep things going and everything like that. Got my snacks for dance. It's a protein bar from Costco and this like little fruit bar situation, also from Costco. Costco's the best place for snacks. Then I'm packing my Alani because I definitely need some extra energy. These are my absolute favorite, and also it kind of matches my little vest today, so slay. My tripod for my phone because I film a bunch of stuff. Okay, we got notebook. This has all my notes about my choreography in it. Pen, of course. Got my laptop. I also wanted to say, I realized last night I didn't film when I got home, but I got home from rehearsal. It was like 6 to 7:30. So by the time I got home, it was almost 8. And my husband had also been like working all day pretty much, so we ordered takeout. And that's something that like I know a lot of people try to like reduce how much they order takeout in order to like eat healthier and also save money and all of that stuff, but I would say that we like pretty consistently order takeout maybe twice a week, and like it's because we're both busy, and that's just something that we like give ourselves for those evenings, especially when I'm coming home late, just like I cannot be bothered to cook something. And we do choose like healthy choices. Like we just got like some stir fries from a Thai food place. Just wanted to mention that like when you are this busy, like some things gotta give sometimes because you don't have time to be like perfect about every little thing all the time. So that was just one of those things. So I wanted to make sure that I mentioned that.
Yeah, sort of.
Kind of.
Remember when I said that I...
Go faster. So finding this way out feeling, and then just like experiment with this, like straightening through the legs is a really nice back stretch. Back from dance now. It went super well. I tried to film a little bit. I don't know how much I actually got filming from the corner, but hopefully I got something to show you guys. So rehearsal was 2 to 6, so I got home at like 6:30. So now I'm just throwing together a quick but yummy dinner. I'm having this spinach ravioli from Costco. I am throwing these asparagus in the oven, and then these like fake chicken fillet situation things are also in the oven. So super quick but really yummy, and will hopefully be really good.
Let me grab one.
This week in Multipassionate Diaries, I wrote 0 poems and edited 1. I started a YouTube video and beat myself up for not posting enough on TikTok. I watched my kitties continue growing closer, sharing the small and warm spaces they've learned to call home. I started watching Severance with my husband and kept Project Runway reruns on in the background on work from home days. I went into the office twice. I won an award for my equity work at my 9-to-5 job, though it doesn't feel like work to me, as a person with several marginalized identities. But it felt good to be recognized, especially as someone who is terrible at recognizing my own accomplishments. I stayed consistent with yoga and F45. I finished reading 1 novel, which I didn't love, and started reading a book of poetry. I mourned my lack of time for poetry and dreamed of a writing residency. I spent around 8 hours in the dance studio for my dance company and other gigs. I started a new dance piece reflecting on our dystopian times. I cried about our dystopian times and called my reps. Too many topics to choose from, but it's better than doing nothing. I clung onto my people and took care of my communities. I received 1 kind of rejection, kind of acceptance for a dance company opportunity. 1 poem got accepted for publication in the Florida Review, the first acceptance in a while, which felt like flying over a rainbow on a unicorn. I worked for around 62 hours and met a book editing deadline for a romantic fantasy novel. I tried a new dance class with friends and released my anxiety around getting it perfect. I got severely overwhelmed when I didn't finish everything I wanted to because balance will always elude me. It snowed twice and I embraced the magic. I dreamed of moving to the woods several times and looked up houses for rent in the Berkshires. I looked up where to travel in April. I didn't sleep nearly enough.
Hello, my dears. I have to admit something to you, which is that I didn't film for the last 2 days because I have to go into the office on Mondays and Tuesdays right now. And honestly, it can just be really overwhelming because I lose so much of the time that I typically have in the day just like commuting, and with all of the like social energy that I as an introvert have to put out to be in the office around other people in meetings, just like talking all day, I get pretty overwhelmed. And that's like one of the reasons that I feel like, you know, the whole office life 9-to-5 situation is not really going to be for me in the long term. It drains me, and I don't think that that's like a necessity. Like if your body and your mind is telling you that something doesn't work well for you, is telling you that this thing is draining for you, that is actually like a cue that you should listen to. And I feel like we all kind of think like, oh, it's just normal, like you get tired from work, whatever. But like I feel so drained when I come out of those 2 days being so heavily like in that space of work that I just know it's not right for me in the long term. That's something that I think about. Again, like I always say, like my 9-to-5 is still working for me for now for certain reasons, and I'm gonna keep it for now, but it's not long term, and that's really one of the reasons why. Anyways, we're back home today. I'm feeling much better after a good night of sleep. Also finished that book that I was showing y'all, Memory Piece by Lisa Ko. I honestly wouldn't recommend it. The end part is a really good like commentary on like capitalist society and like society collapsing and all of that sort of thing, but it doesn't really feel related to the rest of the book, and I was just so excited for it to be over, to be honest with you. The next books that I have on the docket, I really want to read Martyr by Kaveh Akbar. He's actually a poet, so it was really exciting to see him put a novel out, and I've heard amazing things, so this is up next in terms of novels. I also want to read The Bluest Eye. Based on like everything that's been happening in our country and the inauguration and all of that sort of thing, I have been thinking about like little micro ways that we can be advocating for the things that we believe in. And one of the things I'm really passionate about obviously is books. And so I looked up a list of the most commonly banned books in schools, and The Bluest Eye is one of them by Toni Morrison. And this book has like won a Nobel Peace Prize, like it's won everything you can ever think of, and it's being banned in schools. I've never read it, so I'm planning to read this as like a little act of rebellion against book bans across the US. And then I also am going to be reading this poetry book, Mothman Apologia. It's by Robert Wood Lynn, who I actually worked with this summer when I went to the Bread Loaf Writers Conference. He was like the fellow in our class, so we did some like workshopping with him. Our main like teacher and instructor was Adrienne Matika, who's actually the editor-in-chief of Poetry Magazine, so that was super cool. But we also worked with Robert as well in the class, so I bought his book there over the summer and I haven't read it yet. And I feel like him and I have like some kind of things in common in terms of the ways that we write and think about poetry. So I'm really excited to read this as well. So those are kind of the 3 books that I am going to be reading next. Today, I'm just going to be in my office working most of the day. But honestly, since I'm home today and I did a lot of work for my 9-to-5 the last couple of days in the office, I am going to, of course, still be like working on my 9-to-5, but also focusing a little bit more on other things like my book editing. I might try to write a Substack today, things like that. So see if I can show you the fit. I'm always struggling to find how to show outfits in the like horizontal plane, but I just have this like oversized button down that I got from Old Navy. I love Old Navy. And these jeans, which are some of my favorite, they're like a wide leg cargo jean situation, so super baggy, super comfy today. And then I like never turn the heat on in my apartment if I can help it, so I also have just like a little black sweater, also from Old Navy, that I can throw on if we get cold upstairs. Let's go settle into some work for the day.